right, read. You're on.
I'm waiting for him to start dazzling these cadavers. A long time is little to me, he answered sadly, but forever is nothing. And so, from these ghastly ruminations, we turn to more cheerful topics.
Okay.
She swung shut the door of her smile of greeting, slaying the dark with her piercing shrieks. Oh, I don't know about that mouth of hers. Sometimes it seems like a gimmick. Spring was trilling outside the window. Gossamer raised her nose from the grindstone to her needlework and sniffed the air. Something was twittering inside her too.
Twittering, like Twitter.
Yes, heaving her bosom and lifting her spirits,
I heard
which
bosom.
had been low of late.
Low bosoms.
I want you to drag me home with you by the roots of my own meanings. She broke the silence, engulfing them with an audible hush and tingle. Please to make your deep acquaintance. Your bedroom eyes are twinkling. There's no lust lost between us.
What is this book?
And he kept on besmirching me, although I beseeched him to stop.
Besmirching and beseeching?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Is this going to put a wonderful smudge forever upon my name? She snagged the tip of her glove's index finger on a spoke of her umbrella. A patch of her wing began to itch. My big, sprawling feet and snarled hair wallflowered me. She gathered herself into anxious hordes of axioms and went flitting along the fluxum and jotsam of jetsam and flotsam on her road to misfortune.
She sounds like someone that you should be with, Neil.
I am with. Halcyon, tranquil, calm, peaceful, golden, with quality or prosperity. Ah, but our nostrils did not widen in pleasure then, nor did life caress us and leave us tingling. Our halcyon days lay around another 20 corners, dissimulated the contralto to her amanuensis as they braced themselves for another divagation in the composition of her memoirs.
Can you just tell me what this book is about? Because I don't understand what...
Haptic, of or relating to the sense of touch. I simply cannot converse without a bit of haptic stimulation and reassurance. Jonquil stated to the wizard she worked for, narrowing the gap between their two noses and four hands. But do you suppose he yelled tactile harassment at her invasion of his senses? Not on your life. He was too agog with Gog and Magog before this terra incognita. Here lie dragons.
All right. Can you, for the last time, tell me what that book was about?
It was about enlightenment. Haptic enlightenment. which has a certain sort of synesthesia that's kinesthetic from the get-go.
From the get-go, huh?
And you take a deep breath. On tyranny.
Okay.
Be kind to our language, as I just demonstrated. Avoid pronouncing the phrases everyone else does. Think up your own way of speaking, even if only to convey that thing you think everyone is saying. Make an effort to separate yourself from the internet. Read books.
It doesn't say that.
Victor Klemperer, a literary scholar of Jewish origin, turned his philological training against Nazi propaganda. He noticed how Hitler's language rejected legitimate opposition. The people always meant some people and not others. The president uses the word in this way. Encounters were always struggles. The president says winning. And any attempt by free people to understand the world in a different way was defamation of the leader. Or, as the president puts it, libel. Politicians in our time feed their cliches to television, where even those who wish to disagree repeat them. Television purports to challenge politically correct language by conveying images, but the succession from one frame to another happens too fast and can hinder some sense of resolution. Everything happens fast, but nothing actually happens. Each story on televised news is, quote, breaking.
That's true.
Until it is displaced by the next story.
Breaking news. A Fox News alert.
Yes. So we are hit by wave upon wave, but never see the ocean for the trees. The effort to define the shape and significance of events requires words and concepts that elude us when we are entranced by visual stimuli. Watching televised news is sometimes little more than looking at someone who is also looking at a picture. We take this collective trance to be normality. We have fallen slowly into it. More than a half a century ago, the classic novels of totalitarianism warned of the domination of screens, the suppression of books, the narrowing of vocabularies, and the associated difficulties of thinking. In Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451, published in 1953, firemen find and burn books, while most citizens watch interactive television. George Orwell's 1984, published in 1949. Books are banned. Television is two-way, allowing the government to observe citizens at all times. In 1984, the language of visual media is highly constrained to starve the public of the concepts needed to think about the present, remember the past, or consider the future. One of the regime's projects is to limit the language further by eliminating ever more words with each edition of the official dictionary. Staring at screens is perhaps unavoidable, but the two-dimensional world makes little sense unless we can draw upon a mental armory that we have developed somewhere else. When we repeat the same words and phrases that appear in the daily media, we accept the absence of a larger framework. To have such a framework requires more concepts, and having more concepts requires reading. So get the screens out of my face, motherfucker, and surround yourself with books. The characters in Orwell's and Bradbury's books could not do this, but we still can, barely. What to read? Any good novel enlivens our ability to think about ambiguous situations and judge the intentions of others. Fyodor Dostoevsky's The Brothers Karamazov and Milan Kundera's The Unbearable Lightness of Being might suit our moments. Sinclair Lewis's novel, It Can't Happen Here, is perhaps not a great work of art. Philip Roth, The Plot Against America, is better. One novel known by millions of young Americans that offers an account of tyranny and resistance is J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. If you or your friends or your children did not read it that way the first time, then it bears rereading. Some of the political and historical texts that inform the arguments made here are Politics and the English Language by George Orwell, 1946. The Language of the Third Reich by Victor Klemperer, 1947. The Origin of Totalitarianism by Hannah Arendt, 1951. The Rebel by Albert Camus, 1951. The Captive Mind by Czesław Miłosz in 1953. The Power of the Powerless by Václav Havel, 1978. How to Be a Conservative Liberal Socialist by Leszek Kolakowski, 1978. The Uses of Adversity by Timothy Garton Ash, 1989. The Burden of Responsibility by Tony Judd, 1998. Ordinary Men by Christopher Browning, 1992. And Nothing is True and Everything is Possible by Peter Pomerantsev, 2014. Christians might return to the foundation book, which, as ever, is very timely. Jesus preached that it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. We should be modest, for, quote, who shall ever exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. And of course, we must be concerned with what is true and what is false news. Quote, and ye shall know the truth shall make you free.
All right, so let's end there. Say goodbye.
See you later, alligator, crocodile.